I'm Ryan Reesbeck.
And I'm Bobby Peterson.
We are the co-founders of the Professional Long Drivers Association. And we're here. We've got a whiteboard. You can't see it, obviously, behind you, but we've got a whiteboard here. We want to talk about some things because we feel like there's a lack of information. So, number one, Bobby, what in the world happened to long drive in 2020?
Well, the only long drive that happened this year was me and Colton going to Texas to pick up some golf balls.
That's right. That was a long
That
drive.
was the only long drive.
But it was worthwhile to
Yeah,
pick up 60,000 golf balls.
But
so.
I think there was a lot of, obviously with COVID and the Golf Channel moving from Florida to their home office in Connecticut.
Yep.
Where it is, NBC Universal. And lot of things up in the air. Where we're going to have a season. They canceled the first event and kept doing that. And there was not a lot of communication coming out because, quite honestly, I don't think they knew. Not their fault, but nobody knew with COVID happening this year. But at the end of the day, the Golf Channel actually decided to basically mothball World Long Drive, and where we were talking, because we were training like we were going to have tournaments, we're going to have a World Championship, and we talked a little bit about what if they come up at the last minute and go, let's do a World Championship. We wanted to be ready, so we decided, you know what, let's just have 4 tournaments, and if nothing else, at least we'll have some action and be ready if there's a World Championship. And that's where it broke.
Yeah, and I think it's important to keep in mind, we as an organization, we're very appreciative of the people that came before us. Initially it was Golf Digest, right?
Yeah,
and then Art Sellinger with Long Drivers of America.
Yeah.
Golf Channel stepped in 2015 and acquired it, and they were trying to really make something out of it. And it just really is a matter of an unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah.
Because up until COVID happened, I mean, the season was on, the World Championship was on, and everything was full go. So
I think the biggest thing with me is because of my relationship with manufacturers. All of the shaft companies, head companies, everybody had already started producing equipment for long drive, and all of those companies, we don't want to lose those companies because if we come back and have a season next year and they go, well, you did it to us last year and we didn't have a season, then what equipment would we use in the future? So we weren't just trying to protect long drive itself, but the entire sport of long drive, the industry long drive, from equipment to training, the coaches, the athletes, the sponsors that love the sport and things like that. We were trying to save it all. Is what we were actually after there.
Yeah. So I guess in retrospect, we decided to do 4 events. Yep. We formed the PLDA. We called it the Rockwell Series. The Rockwell Watch Company was kind enough to offer watches for the winners.
They know what time it is.
They do know what time it is.
Yeah.
That's right. They got their finger on the time on the clock. Okay. So and we obviously decided a few weeks ago, that it was apparent that World Long Drive was not coming back, and we wanted to try and take long drive into the future and how we see it. So we formed a Professional Long Drivers Association with a perspective from players, with a focus on players. And so that takes us right into question number 2, who we are. So Bobby, how long have you been doing long drive?
Off and on for about 30 years.
I started in 2010 as a competitor. My story is similar to other people's stories where somebody told me I should try it. I had seen it on TV once or twice around Christmas time when they would re-air it as Long Drivers of America, and so I went and tried a local qualifier, qualified, went to a regional, didn't qualify. Next year came back, tried it again. I ended up qualifying in 2011 for my first one.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way. Early 90s when I started playing golf, I found out I pretty much sucked at golf, but I could hit a golf ball a long ways, and just kind of kept chasing that. How far can I hit it kind of mentality, right?
And you've been my coach since 2016, I believe.
Yeah. Long time.
Yeah. Still chasing the big one. So, but you promised me World Championship. So is this how we're going to do it?
Well, I thought we really had it till people started showing up, especially this last event when we filled the field up and had to actually turn people away, which I felt guilty about because we're trying to grow a sport, and all of a sudden we didn't have time to get all the people in. So that's a good thing because that shows the interest is there and where we're going. But PLDA is Professional Long Drivers Association. And we have to stress that because we want it to be about the players. In anything that we do in this sport, we know that the number one asset to us in this sport is the players. So if you don't take
That's
care of
right.
your assets in any business in life or anything like that, you're doomed to fail, right? So we got to take care of the players, and that's our goal, number one.
That's right. So that also takes us to number 3. So what are we doing about it? So we talked about the 4 events, the Rockwell Series. Our 5th event is going to be the National Championship event. We decided not to hold a World Championship because we didn't feel like it was fair because of the restricted travel. We can't get international players here. And honestly, it's a bit of a leap of faith that we can get them next year because we don't know what's going to happen in the world, but we're hoping things are going to settle down.
Yeah, we've got a tremendous plan for that. Obviously COVID is still the governing, factor on everything if the borders open up, stuff like that. But you hit the nail on the head. Without the borders open, we can't have a world championship. And we're in talks with all of these countries. They're the same way. They can't leave their borders, can't have people in. So some of the groups out there reached out immediately. Australia, New Zealand, Japan, China, Thailand, South Korea, Europe, South Africa. I mean, everybody around the world's kind of the same thing. They feel like they're in a box, can't get out of it, want to compete. And long drive is such a small group of people. We pretty much know everybody in the sport, right? And what we want to do is take that to a point of not just be 300 to 400 people in the sport. We want tens of thousands of people in the sport. We want to make it accessible to everybody that wants to try. And that's the other thing. When you're taking care of players, I think they'll see that.
Yeah, and I agree because I'm one of the people that when I first started trying to do long drive, I just loved it, and it sounds crazy, but I would dream about it. I would like when I would be sitting there at a free minute, I would be thinking about it. But I think that's really true, and I said it multiple times this weekend. I'm a firm believer in the fact that when people try long drive, they love it.
Oh, yeah.
So the more that we can get people just to try it out, the more we're going to be successful at doing this. So that takes us to something up there, the grassroots qualifying, something that Art Sellinger did. I don't know if it was done before that.
Yeah, it was.
But we want to take Art Sellinger's idea or whomever's idea it was and expand it. We want to go. For example, here in the U.S., our goal is to have 500 local qualifying events next year. That seems a little aggressive, but we feel like it's possible given the various regions that
you did say 500.
I said 500.
Yeah, I want people to understand what you just said.
500. Our goal is to have 500 local qualifying events. Right now on the books,
just in the U.S.
Our plan is that's just in the U.S. Our plan is to have 8 regional events coupled with a tour event. So we don't want to have just the focus on the World Championship. We want to provide an opportunity for players that want to take it to the next level. Because that World Championship event is just one event a year. We want to develop a worldwide tour. We have a relationship with some international affiliates, we call it, that are going to run under the banner of the PLDA in their regions of the world. So if you're in, for example, South Korea, Japan, China, Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Canada, Europe, here in the U.S.,
any other country.
Yeah, and if there's interest from other people, we're looking at it. But we're doing our best to help these other groups in these areas develop long drive in their regions of the world. We know that we can't do it by ourselves, and we need the help. Yeah. And we feel like we've got some relationships established with some good people, and that in their areas they're going to be able to help take it to the next level. So, right now we've got open, senior, and ladies divisions. And we're looking to expand that too. So.
Yeah, one thing that we want to do there is, to my knowledge, I don't think we've ever had ladies qualify. So for a lady to get into the sport, it's pretty much show up at a tour event or in the past the World Championship, pay the entry fee, and you have to hit immediately against ladies like Phyllis and Sandra and Chloe and those ladies that are well-established athletes. So think about that. Your first time in any sport, you get into it, you've got to go against the top athletes. I mean, that's a hard pill. So if we can start people just getting a taste of long drive in qualifiers, then hopefully they can either find out what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, how to get new equipment, how to get coaching, or if the game is even right for them, right? But we want to make it enjoyable, not come in and get embarrassed or anything like that, right?
That's right.
So that's the big thing. And we want to bring back senior qualifying. I think that's very important.
Right. Oh, well, we've been talking about our vision, right? So big thing is qualifying.
Starts in December, hopefully.
That's right. We're hoping to launch in December,
Yeah.
and I know in a lot of areas, you feel like maybe you can't do it in December, but we're going to use technology to bring qualifying to all parts of the country, regardless of whether it's warm or cold.
So Ryan, let's tell them a little bit how we're going to do
Hey,
that.
let's do that. All right.
So our idea, we want to introduce people to the sport. So here's our idea. We want to do indoor, outdoor qualifying, whether it's on a TrackMan, Flight Scope, Quad, GC2,
Bout
Golf Simulator, Foresight, which I think is a GC2.
Yeah.
Full swing, any simulator, True Golf, anything out there. We think as long as people hit on the exact machine and use USGA compliant equipment, that it's fair contest. No matter how they read or pick up, and we will actually send out host packages to anybody that wants to run a qualifier. It's $40 for an attempt, and we'll take one competitor for every 6 or 7 attempts. We're still trying to play with the numbers there to see what it works out to be. And then from there, you would pick your regional, and you hit your 6 balls. If you qualify, you move to the regional. And then at the regional, everybody will come together. We'll have a format that's suitable for the amount of people there and try to qualify at least 1 out of every 10 people from that to the World Championship, which will be held in Mesquite, Nevada, 2021.
Yeah, one thing too with the local qualifying, we're going to have an event basically monthly, and if somebody qualifies for the event in March, or they get to that regional event, they don't qualify, they still have other events that they can qualify for in your local area, wherever you're at. You'll be able to do that qualifying for that region and get to that next regional. There's opportunities. So we want to introduce people. We want to give them a fair opportunity to grow and progress in the sport and get better, and get to that chance of getting to the World Championship, maybe winning that.
Yeah, I think that the beauty of this is in the past you've always had to travel. So whether it's renting a car or hotel or airfare, that's a big expense. So if we can do local qualifiers, even with groups of 5, 10, 20 people, I think it gives a lot more people opportunity to compete and keep the costs down, especially with the way things are now. It also helps support local golf facilities or centers that are out there that are trying to keep the money locally in their community. So it might even create some opportunities where we could run little fundraisers in conjunction with the qualifiers. It opens up ideas that a lot of people have been saying for years, but it also gives them opportunity to start implementing those ideas. Right.
Yeah, and also if let's say that I want to get into long drive, or I'm into long drive and I want to help run some of those qualifiers, there's an opportunity for that as well. So we're willing to revenue share with you to do that. If you can cover some of those expenses by hosting a qualifier and you're interested, please contact us. info@prolongdrivers.com. You can reach out to us and we'll send you the presentation packet and go over what you need to do and make sure that the qualifier is a fairly run qualifier. But there's opportunity out there for lots of people in different areas or different ways in the sport of long drive right now. So.
Yeah, so we get these qualifiers started in December. We want to have our first regional in Mesquite, Nevada, and go from there. And like you said a while ago, there'll be more opportunities if you don't qualify at that regional for the World Championship. And at the local qualifiers, since we're going to do 8 regionals, we'll actually do what we call super qualifiers, where they can pick the region that's convenient for them, or if they want to go ahead and qualify for multiple regions at one time in a qualifier, they can choose that option before they start to hit their balls and try to qualify for more than one.
That's right.
And it's $40 per attempt.
More hitting for more people, which is what we want to try and do. Yeah. So perfect. And we've got the World Championship. Let's talk about it. So the first launch event is March 5th through the 7th in Mesquite, Nevada. The World Championship is going to be held November 7th through the 14th. We're trying to look to see if we can move that up into October for a little bit warmer weather. Not that it's terrible in Mesquite that time of year, but it's 70s. And
average 70s.
If you get a cold front coming in, it can be in the 50s. Yeah. And we want to try and stay at a warmer temperature, maybe 70s and 80s if possible. So keep your eye out on that. When our website launches, you'll see the schedule for all these qualifiers on there, along with the tour events, regional events, and the World Championship. So let's talk. That's kind of the basic rundown of what is going to be coming up this next year. But let's talk about the future of long drive beyond next year. Like where do we see this going? Where are our hopes and dreams and aspirations are taking us. The Dream Bus, Bobby. Talk to
Well,
us about
the,
that.
the big dream was for, it seems like forever the sport has been dependent upon a major sponsor to come in, and things were great as long as the major sponsors, such as Golf Digest in the beginning, and they had Chrysler that was sponsoring them, and then Remax came in and propped up Long Drive for 20 years, and then the Golf Channel come in and they went out and got sponsors and had Volvic as the title sponsor and things like that. So our idea is to use the social media platform. So we're trying to develop a YouTube channel. You can actually search it by searching for PLDA or Professional Long Drivers Association on YouTube. So the idea is to feed content to that YouTube channel and monetize that channel so that we get paid.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's part of the equation. And then obviously we're looking to talk to sponsors. That's still a revenue stream that we need, and we want to involve local charities. And that's another thing, because I think it's important that we get involved in the communities that we're having these events, because Long Drive to me is a social event. And if we can get charities in local communities to catch on board, and we can do pro-ams and help out a community, as well as providing an opportunity for professional athletes to compete and earn fabulous prizes and money, then that's a win-win for everybody.
Bob, tell them what they've won. No, I'm just kidding.
What they've won is a chance to compete at the highest level.
That's right. Actually, that is one of the things that some of the competitors that we've had coming out to these 4 initial events that we've done, that's one of the things that they've said is that they never would dream of competing on the tee box with somebody like Kyle Berkshire or Will Hogue or Justin James or Ryan Riesbeck.
Who?
Never mind. It's like Abbott and Costello up here. Anyways, but it is a unique opportunity.
Yeah.
If you feel like you could be one of the best in the world, you come out and you actually get to compete against the best in the world. So
I've been feeling that way for 30 years. That hasn't worked yet.
Well, but the point of the way that we've tried to design this is that it's sustainable without that huge sponsor dollar.
Yeah, that's the key word, sustainable. I want this sport to be where if one person drops out, the sport keeps going. Right, and that's the big thing. We can't put all of our eggs in one basket. I love the idea of what the Golf Channel is doing, trying to put it on TV, and I thought that was huge for the sport, taking it to a new high level. And sometimes when you shoot for a high level like that, you don't achieve it, but you can't quit. Right. So we're back down. We got to start over. We got to build it. So we as players now have the opportunity to build it as we saw it, right? And just give it a shot and see what happens here. So
yeah. And to that point too, with what Golf Channel has done and what Art Sellinger did with the Long Drivers of America, there's more awareness of long drive now than there ever has been. Yeah. So from my perspective, we are grateful for what they have done, and hopefully we can continue to push it forward, take it from where they've gotten it to, and then now move forward to bigger and better things. We would like to get it on TV. We want to live stream it. We want to get it out to as many people as possible. Yeah. So, and we're doing our best. Sometimes things all need to be done at one time, and it's hard to get all of it done at one time. So we're going to try and provide some of these videos like this for you so you can stay informed with what's going on in Long Drive. If you haven't already, please go to our YouTube channel, PLDA or Professional Long Drivers Association. Check us out. As a little bit of a teaser before we go, there's a few things that I wanted to show or share with my vision, and that is we've been doing some team events as part of our Rockwell series, and I think the team event is one of the most fun parts of the competition.
Yeah,
it's different, it's unique.
Yeah, I've got a little more experience than you because I've competed with the ILDC, and I want to partner with the ILDC. Rick and Bill have done a fabulous job with their World Team Championship, and I think that's something that the PLDA around the world could get behind and have a World Team Championship.
I like that.
With the ILDC.
I like the team championship. Yeah. I also like the rivalry events, like you've got New Zealand and Australia, U.S. and Europe, or North America versus Europe, or some. Those things are all fun. Yeah. We would also like to do some premier major global events. You and I have been to. I've been to Portugal. I've been to Dubai, China. I mean, we've been to some pretty Mexico. We've been to some pretty fantastic golf facilities, seen places in the world, and I think that is the creme de la creme. You know, that's French. Anyway, it's like the cream of the crop, the cream. I don't know. Anyways, it's the pinnacle, right? It's like these major championship events all over the world, and I would like to see us doing some of that again. You know, we've had other organizations, Long Drive World Series. What they had was a great idea. Yeah. You know, other organizations have had great ideas. Rick and Bill with the team championship. These are all great ideas, and hopefully in the future, you know, we're seeing these ideas come to fruition again in a sustainable manner. Yeah. And I think that's key. And the more people we get involved, the more eyes we get on the sport, the more competitors we get on the sport, the more realistic that is going to become. So
we're only competitors on the tee box.
That's right.
That's what we want.
That's right. And that's what I really enjoy, the camaraderie of the sport. I want to say brotherhood, but there's some fantastic ladies out there that have come, you know, gotten to know, and
some new ones.
Yeah, there's some new ones, and I'm a big believer. There's a lot of talent out there that just has never tried long drive, and when somebody convinces them to actually give it a shot, they love it. They start working at it. There's some great coaches out there too. You know, we talk about like Lee Cox in Europe. He coaches several of the European players. He does a fantastic job. There's lots of coaches out there that can help, you know, elevate your game, and that's another topic for another day. But we want to see the sport grow. We love it. We enjoy it. All that it, you know, that it brings to our lives, and we want other people to experience that as well. Yeah. So, okay, time for my question.
Okay.
All right.
It's a surprise question.
Yeah, so this is the question that I get frequently asked when I'm on a tee box for a corporate outing or something like that. What is your longest drive?
Mine, 412.
I thought it was North Carolina to Texas to pick up the golf ball.
Yeah, but 412 was in California, so it would be further.
Okay. 412 yards?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's all right. That's okay.
Is that the way you want to go with that?
No, go ahead and ask me. It's a setup question. I want you to ask me how my longest drive is.
Well, I need to ask you the question that I'm frequently asked.
Uh-oh.
And when I'm on the tee box, a lot of people typically ask me, who is Ryan Riesbeck?
Oh, he's the guy that hit a 485 in Denver and lost because he missed the grid in the next round.
Oh, my God.
All right. Well, we appreciate.
We'll get surprise questions.
Yeah.
So I get a surprise question?
Yeah, you got the next one. You can surprise question me. All right. We're gonna sign off until next time, November 7th. Check us out in Memphis, Tennessee. Golf and Games Family Fun Center. Spencer McDaniel, ATC Fitness. They're hosting that event, and it's gonna be a good one. The National Championships. If you haven't already signed up, there's only about 14 spots left as of the recording of this video, so get busy.
Let's make long drive great again.